Why is your voice very deep? Okay, so okay, chat, I must come clean. I have to come clean. I use a voice changer, and the program is called Puberty. All right, it was given to me as a secret when I was growing up, around the age of 14. Some wizard came up to me and was like, "Here, use this tool." And then I asked him, like, what's all this? It's like, oh, this will be what changes your life. And then since then, sorry, I can't. No, this is just my regular voice. It's like not so much anymore, but like it was deeper at the beginning because I had taken a nap. I think Flayon has mentioned this in chat, right? 14-year-old with that voice. Okay, so here's the thing. I had it during like my freshman year of high school, and I don't know when it happened. I think like it's around that time that like I got peer pressured not to speak out loud. Like I became like the quiet introverted kid, because like people would call to attention the fact that I had a deep voice. They would call over and be like, "Oh, you know, like Shinri, you know, like what, like, do you have an answer to this?" And like, you know, I'd be like, yeah, the answer's like 32." And then the teacher would be like, "Oh, Shinri, show your work." And then I'd be like, "Oh, you carry the X, and then you do this on both sides." And like I would say that, but then like people would comment on it. And as a 14-year-old young Ronin, I got really self-conscious about it because like none of my other friends had that deep of a voice, you know? So because I got self-conscious, I became more reserved and I just like stopped talking. You know, the only people who ever like heard me was like whenever I got called in class or at like the cash registers when I was like checking out. They were like, "Oh, like would that be all?" And I'm like, "Yeah, that'll be all." And then and then the people would be like, "Oh my goodness, you have a deep voice." And like, yeah, I get told that a lot. But like it would just be that, you know. So it took a while to like really get comfortable with this voice. I know like from the outside perspective, I've gotten comments like, "Oh my gosh, you have an amazing voice. It sounds really great." But like having grown up with it for such a long time, the story that it like placed upon me was different, was very different. Like if I had a switch that I could like turn on and off to sound like me versus sounding normal, you know? I know back then I would have really wanted that switch. Oh no, this got really like sentimental for a moment there. Like, it's only like recently, now that I'm like 30, that I have like, you know, come into more of just like accepting this. Or maybe it's just part of me like getting older and not caring anymore, and then it's like, yeah, whatever, you know. It took me about 4 months of like recording myself and listening to myself talk that, you know, I've gotten more familiar and like comfortable with my voice. I don't know why. Like for me, like when I heard it, I heard it, and because here's the thing, chat. You know how everyone like hears, everyone knows like there's like a physical reason why, like a physical and biological reason why you hear your voice differently than how other people hear their voices, right? Because the vibrations go through your skull and like they add an extra layer of like bass to your vibrations inside your what was it, eardrums? Like they add a different set of vibrations that people don't hear whenever you're talking to them, because for them your vibrations that come from your voice only carry through the air, so they don't have the extra reverberations from your skull. So I heard myself, and when I first heard myself, the immediate reaction was for me to compare myself to other people who had deep voices, or like those of, you know, the people that say are like, "Oh wow, like listen to their deep voice," right? And my immediate gut reaction was to listen to it and say like, "Oh, this is not right. This is not what a deep voice should sound like. You know, this doesn't sound like me because I've not heard myself, and it doesn't sound like the other people that those around me have said have deep voices." So there was a lot of times when I had to like think about like, is my voice really, you know, like that? And it took me a while to get to come to terms with that. Like, this is my voice now. It's a lot better now that I have more experience hearing myself talking. But until I had built up that like familiarity with my voice, it took a while. And then it was about 4 months for me.
No! What are you waiting for? Do it! Just do it! Yes, you can!